In this week's Real Estate Real Talk, before buying a home, it is always a good idea to do a little research. Despite that, there's a survey from NerdWallet that finds a lot of people are misinformed about the housing market. Los Angeles real estate agent Keri White joining me this week once again to set the record straight on a few things that we have to talk about. Keri, you ready to bust these myths with me?
Yep, ready to inform here.
All right, so let's get into the actual survey. 2/3 of Americans are expecting a crash, and they expect it to happen very soon. We've, of course, talked about this many times before on this show. Experts say that is not the case, right?
Yeah, can you believe 2/3 of Americans expect a crash? That means almost everybody you're speaking to, for the most part, is expecting a crash. And one of my favorite economists, Lawrence Yun, he's the chief economist for the National Association of Realtors, and he forecasts we're going to be about even this year. The average sale price across the U.S. will be staying at $385. Some people, Redfin, have predicted a little bit of a 4% drop, but for the most part, you're seeing this great graph here. Thank you for pulling that up. U.S. home prices are going to be largely unchanged. If you look here, Case-Shiller, you're looking 1% to about a 0.6 negative percent. I mean, you're seeing, as I call it, the great flat line, to be honest. We're just not going to see a lot of movement up or down because prices are high, but there's just not the inventory that we need.
So first, check off the list of a crash, misinformation there. Now we have to talk about mortgage rates, which is another thing we've talked about here. They say they might seem high compared to what we've seen in past years, but the rates now were actually pretty common at one point.
Oh, yeah, extremely common. Seeing 3 and 4% was just something to shake up the market after COVID. And rates that were 8, 9, 11%. I mean, if you're watching this and you're a millennial like Natalie and myself, go ask your parents what they purchased their home with as far as an interest rate back in the day. You know, a lot of them will say that they were 11%, even 18%. So these mortgage rates are actually historically low, but hovering at 7.3 in December. They went down to 5.9% about 2 weeks ago, and everybody rushed back into the market with multiple offers. So right now we're seeing mid-6s. They'll probably hover between 5.5% to 6%, but this is still historically low compared to what we've seen throughout our entire lifetime.
Historically low compared to what we've seen, which is pretty incredible that people have that information wrong. I want to talk to you about this surprising number. Nearly 30 million Americans that were surveyed, they plan to buy a home this year. But realistically, Keri, how many would you say are actually going to seal the deal and succeed?
Okay, so this is a stat that I've been looking at for the last month, and it's quite shocking, to be honest. So you think 30 million Americans plan to buy a home this year, which is 10% of Americans. So, hey, that doesn't seem like that much. But when you think about it, only 5 million homes sold in 2022 and 6 million sold in 2021. So you've got 30 million Americans trying to buy a very small percentage of homes. And the prediction is that 2023, only 4.3 million homes are going to be able to sell. So that means 70% of Americans who planned to buy a home last year in 2022, they didn't succeed. They either shelved their plans or they were writing multiples and weren't getting accepted. So we're in a big inventory crisis right now, but even more so, we're in a big misinformation crisis where people are just expecting this crash, and the facts are that that's not going to happen.
Keri here to set the record straight. We really, really enjoy having you here every single week. Thanks for your time, Keri.
Thank you.
You guys can follow Keri on Instagram in the meantime between the weeks here at Keri Ann, as well as subscribe to her YouTube channel for more information. That's Keri White Real Estate.